All right, leave it be over there. Our report works, but it's not really exactly what we want it to be, so we want to tweak it. But remember the hi Val. Class is growing as I speak. Remember the report looks okay, but it needs some tweaking. But on the other hand, building this, what you're looking at, you can do it manually. I wouldn't want to do that. I always use the wizard to build my report, get me as close as I can get it. Remember, if you got good data and you lay it out in the wizard well, there shouldn't be a lot of customization required here. But there is some customization, so now we're going to customize it. Sometimes column names, here's some things we might be doing. First of all, if you don't see the Crystal Reports toolbar, and there's a couple of them here, and as I click on things, some of them come back to life. So here's a toolbar, here's a toolbar, there's another toolbar. If you don't see those toolbars, right click on your toolbars and turn on the 3 Crystal Reports toolbars because they make life easier. So turn that on. Sometimes it helps to be full screen. It hides some of this stuff. I think I'll be okay with this small one without going to full screen. This tells you how to do it. We can move stuff around. We can delete things. So if I want to move stuff like the print date, I could just pick it up and drag it like in most programs, like in any Microsoft Office, just click on an object and drag it. Same thing. I find dragging it though tends to mess up my spacing that Crystal Reports has done such a lovely job on here. So instead you can use your arrow keys, up and down, left and right. Sometimes that's better for moving stuff so that it doesn't shift around quite so much. We can delete things. Remember the group name shows up here, but it also shows up in the footer, the group footer, and there's just not enough distance in between there, so I'm going to delete that by just selecting it and deleting it.
What was that, the group name?
The group name and the group footer, not the one in the group header. I want that one, but I just don't want this one. Okay. Then what else is going on here? I don't like these labels. To change, these are labels. How do you know? You just kind of look at them and get a feel for it. This is a text object. Notice its properties. Versus this one, which is a field object. So that's data. If it's text object, you can just double click it and add a space and capitalize the O's to have a nice, maybe. Caps lock is on. Let's try again. There we go. This one doesn't look like it has the word customer, but it's there. It's just for some goofy reason hiding. There it goes. Size, I think I want a capital S. Number of pies, maybe let's put a pound sign there. Now you can just customize to your heart's content. Cheese sticks, oops. Undo works. Please put it back where it was. Doesn't want to. Used to work. We'll fix that, but I'm going to rename it in the meantime. Not rename it, but relabel it. Cheese sticks. Now it's too small. It gets chopped off, so I can click it. It has handles like any other good object, and I can stretch it. Now it overlaps. We'll deal with that in a minute. Here's my coupon. Change it to a capital C. I don't understand why these are underlined. Doesn't make any sense because there's a graphical line underneath them. So I'm now going to select multiples. If you're having trouble keeping up with this, my advice is just sit back and watch. Because the point is you can move, you can select, usually using a lot of techniques that you've learned in a lot of other different programs. To select multiples, what do you think? Control, Shift, yes, any of the above. I like Shift on the Macs because I don't need to do any convoluted Control, Option, Command, left elbow, Shift, whatever I have to do. Yes, ma'am.
Can you click and drag like you can?
You may, but there's a risk, so I'll describe that in a second. So now my cheese sticks are kind of messed up. They're all underlined, so I'm going to turn that off. There we go. My cheese sticks are kind of messed up. These are alignment buttons. Align the left, the middles, the rights, the tops, the bottoms. I want my cheese sticks to line up with his friends over here. But which one are they going to align on? Maybe they're all going to move down and line up with cheese sticks. No, one of these is different. It's got handles. That's the master. Everybody's going to line up on that, so that's cool. And now they line up again. If I use my arrow keys now, it'll move them all left and right. My size column's not bad. The number of pies column is a little, it just moved again. I hate it when it does that. Okay, undo, there it goes. You can select the title and its number at the same time, shift click. If you want to resize, you can grab the handle and drag, it'll do them both, but you can also use the shift key with the arrow keys. So if I do a shift left arrow, it's shrinking in size. I'm going to shrink it to match the title. I want to make sure the cheese sticks and its field are the same size because I think I resized that one but not this one. These buttons allow you to adjust the height, the width, the both. I want them to be the same width. Okay, but this was the master, so that was a mistake. Let's see if I can undo that. There we go. To switch the master, you click on this one. That one's still selected. Now this is the master and say make them the same size. There we go. And align them to the left using the master as your guide. So that wasn't too bad. You get used to the tools, adjusting these things is not too bad. Here's my count. That's got to be way too big. So I'm a little leery. Well, I'm just resizing, so it shouldn't be too bad. If you're resizing left and right, it won't go up and down, so I can't screw that up. And make it about that size. Should be able to get a couple of numbers in that box. Here's the coupon total. There's the coupon value. That's not good. So what I'm going to suggest is I'm going to click this one and that one. The last one that you click is usually the master. You can change it. You can save yourself a little grief by clicking the master last. I want to align those to the right and make them the same width. And align them to the right. Guess there's another thing I need to learn. Make them the same width first and then align them. Cheese sticks, that's awful big, but that's how big I need it to be in the title. So once again, click, click, make them the same size and align them. And finally the number of pies. Same size and align them. Should have done these bottom ones at the same time, darn it. Oh well. Click. Oops, that one and that one. Make them the same size and align them. Looks like they're pretty much aligned already. You get the idea, I hope. My report ought to be pretty close. Oops, this is my total. These are grand totals, by the way. That's what the label says. You can resize the label. What's with the extra space? These are the grand totals. This is the grand total number of customers, grand total number of pies, grand total. This is way too big. Make it the same as the other one and hope. Align them on the left. Looks like I accidentally moved this down a little bit. Align the tops. Let's see what we got. You run it again. Again, all the stuff I just changed, it would change in the preview down there, but you really don't get a good handle on it. You're just as well off to run it, I think, and look at it. Maybe. There we go. That's a pretty decent number there. Uh-oh. Pound signs and access in Excel means the number is too big to fit in. How could the number be too big? 1, 2, oh, this has still got decimal places on it. Well, I don't need decimal places, so that's the next thing we got to fix. I'll leave it over here. I'll leave them on there. Notice these don't have them. Don't quite understand why Crystal Report can't be smart enough to say these don't need decimal places, so there ain't going to be any in the total. But it's a sum. It could be an average. Then maybe we do want decimal places. But I said some Crystal Reports. You can be smart enough. This looks better up here. That's good. This extra date was going, oh, I still got that problem. And this is probably a little wide, though I could change the format of that too. This is the beginning of the week, and this is the rest of the week. And let's go to the last page, page 12, and that might need to be a little bigger. This one will probably be okay with decimal places, we'll see. But that's looking pretty good. All right, so we stop it. And let's see what we're going to fix. These are going to be just a smidge bigger, so I'm going to select them both and shift right arrow just to make them a little bigger. I got the numpy selected somehow. There we go. And one more. Now I want to change the format of this date. If you don't see it on the toolbar, you can try to get to the properties of that date and find format in here, but I don't know, date type, date calendars, currency symbols. It's hard to find there. I find that formatting any of these fields easier just to right click it. Format it. Aha! Unfortunately, what I'm looking for is not here because here's March 01. Why do I want a leading 0 if I've got that long format? Nobody does that. But I can start with that and then customize. Here's my 2-digit date. Give me a 1-digit date. Here's a sample, much better. The challenge when you're formatting things on a report is figuring out which tab you're supposed to be in. A little bit of thinking, you should be able to narrow it down. Click on OK. Now that date, I don't know if it's too wide or not. I don't think so. I think with the February's in there and everything, it fills up pretty good. Might even be too short. Thought there were February's. October's working. That's a pretty good sign. November still fits. That's pretty good. Okay. They fit. I think I could shrink that down. Could maybe bring all this stuff over. Now this gets into Rachel's question. Can I drag? Yes, but. I can drag, so I want the titles and the totals, so I can drag a box around these and select them. But not only have I gotten those objects, anything I touched has been selected. Notice the line has been selected. There's another line, it's been selected. You can shift click them to remove them. So you can drag to get most everybody and then shift click to remove them, but I probably got that one and sometimes it may not be worth it. Here's another one. So now I have all of those, and here I would use my arrow keys. Ding, ding, ding. There we go. Oops, didn't want the group name, so undo. Shift click the group name. Everybody else move over. Got a little bit of an alignment issue now. Hopefully that'll solve it. The group name was a little too big. Right. What else did I want to do? Format the numbers. This one, this one, this one, and this one. Again, you can try to find it over here. Good luck. I'm going to right click and format the multiple objects. They are numbers. I want to change their format. Perfect. I don't want any decimal places. Maybe we'll get commas someday in the future. And the only other thing to worry about is the minus sign. Do you want parentheses like accountants, or do you want human minus sign? Accountants are just like programmers. They don't always talk human. All right, now how's my report doing? Okay, that's not bad. Maybe I should make that same format as those. Could almost close it down a little bit more, but these shifted over. My lines are still in good places. The same thing happened in the other class. I don't understand why this line is underneath. Because if we look at the design, it's kind of there. I mean, let's just drag it up here. How's that? I don't get it. I just moved it up, and I want it up, and it won't go. Don't know why. So you might have to fight with that a little bit. And maybe if I shrink it, by the way, if I want to shrink this, don't try to drag it. It'll go all over, do weird angle things. This is where you use those arrow keys. I'm going to shift right arrow. Whoa. Maybe not. Click, shift right arrow.
Did you have to make a custom template for those lines to move above?
What?
That was from the wizard, correct?
Yeah, but I can resize them. I should be able to resize them.
Well, I mean, moving them might be.
No, once the template gets you started. Once you're started, you're done. You can do whatever you want to it. Delete stuff, remove, we've seen me do it. Let's see if that helps with the line. There we go. But why is it? Oh! Is there, I'm going to go look, and I'm not going to spend much more time on it. Is there a property on that line that says put me in the bottom of the group? Because I don't see anything. Format it. Line. Could make it thicker. Move to the bottom of the section. What? Why is there even such a property? Go away. Stay where I put you. That's better. If it looks dumb and it won't behave, go look for a stupid property that says make it do something that doesn't show on the screen. Nice. Well, so now we're doing pretty good here. Let's look at the last page, make sure my totals all still line up. I'm still not real thrilled with the red and teal, but teal's not bad. I'm not sure about the red. Everything else looks pretty good. I could resize some things maybe. What's with that? Oh, we forgot about that part. These are the totals from the previous page's group. There's not enough room, so it just starts a new page. And by the way, this is pretty amazing if you think about it. Crystal Reports figures out that given the shadows, given the heights of the lines, given the heights of these lines, there's not enough room, go to the next page. Any of you do the printing in Unit 1? Wimps. Right. It was hard. Lyle did it, a couple of people did it, and they get, yeah, this is a whole lot easier than trying to print using Visual Studio. But at least this version of Crystal Reports, I find it limiting. Can't always create the report I want. So the other thing I still need to do, unless time to look through notes. Move, yes. Resize, use a shift key, okay. Selecting multiple, control or shift click. Can drag, but be careful with those lines. Make them the same size, use the toolbar button. The master is the one with the handles. Aligning them, the master is the one with the handles, use the toolbar button. If you select, you can align by right-clicking as well. Click, shift-click, right-click. There's an align here, but I find those buttons pretty convenient up there. We know how to delete. We saw we can format by right-clicking. We can change the text of labels by double-clicking and typing. Did all that. We talked about what each one of the bands is for. Appears once, appears on every page, etc. These bands can be suppressed if you wish. So maybe I don't want details, I just want totals. This is going to look kind of gross, but we can do it. I can right click and make sure I'm on the header, there we go, and suppress it. And now for every week range that we have here, I get just the totals. Not too bad. So you can suppress them, and you can suppress any one that you want to. You can also bring it back. Don't suppress. We can collapse these if they get a little busy. We can hide them. This doesn't do anything to the printing. This is just like collapsing a folder tree. Just hides it so it doesn't clutter up your screen. Then you can work on a section that you really want to work on. There's a right click here to bring them all back. There's what we're looking for. I want to keep my groups together. The bands are automatically together. So the detail band will never split, which is really kind of goofy. The page header will never split. You won't have half of this on one page and half on the other. The group, if this can be much more complicated. It will not split. One band itself will not split over a page. But if we want to keep the entire group together, we right-click on the group header and then go to the group expert. I think there's a button up here also that's called the group expert, but that's the way I do it. And some of these things, finding them later, if it weren't for my notes, I wouldn't know what to tell you. That can be really a pain. The notes say click options and then click options, and then you can keep your group together. Holy cow. Good luck finding that one in the future. I only know it because I did it last hour. I can remember that long, but check with me on Tuesday. Go. Go. Run. Now we go down to the bottom. There's lots of room here, but there's no records. They have gone to the next page because the group has to stay together. The only exception to this, and we don't have any of those in this example right now, is if the group is so big that it doesn't fit on a page, then it will split. But if it's small, it will never go, it'll never split. This will never split. So that solved that problem, and now I probably have a few extra pages. Yep, I got an extra page out of it that I didn't have before. What's next? Displaying groups on a page. Instead of keeping them together, go back to the group expert. Options, options. I can say, after each group, start a new page. So now every group is on its own page. Here, that's going to be a little ridiculous because some of my weeks only have 2 or 3 or 5 pizza orders in them. But in a second, I'm going to change that grouping. So then it won't be quite so bad. So now every group is on its own page. And if you were handing these out to somebody, if it was this department and that department, or this plant and that plant, that would make sense. And what I really like is when I go to the end, notice this didn't always happen in the past. The report footer would be on its own page because we instructed the product, or we told the group that when you're done, start a new page. In the past, this would be on a page all by itself, which is not good. They've since fixed that. Okay. What else can we do? We can customize the date grouping. When we built this report using the wizard, we said group by date. Crystal reports by default, when you say group by date, groups by weeks. Well, what if I want to group by day, or what if I want to group by month or years or whatever? Back to the group expert. Right click, please. Right click, group expert. I got to select it and then go to options. And here I have the common options. I wanted this groups by week. No. We can do 2 weeks, half a month. Let's go with month. Lots of options there, right? Not every program lets you manage dates like that. Every 2 weeks, every half a month, whatever that means, every quarter. That's interesting. Go. And now when I run, I get an entire month on a page. And now starting them, and notice this is also cool over here. It's a Crystal Report feature. These are my groups. I can jump to September very quickly. It just comes with it, just like the print, the nav bar, and the zoom, and the search, and that's a very powerful control, that Crystal Report viewer.
It's nice if you write a program that handles your payroll
Yeah.
every 2 weeks.
If you're writing programs that generate nice lists like this, Crystal Reports is awesome. It's when you're creating programs that some of the results go here and some go next to it, some go under, some go around. Then you need if statements to decide maybe I want to hide that one, and boy, oh boy, oh boy. Or if you need subgroups underneath. Here's the list, here's my camper name, and here's his 3 phone numbers. But Cyan Camper only has 1 phone number, and how do you deal with the excess there? And it does a Crystal Report for some of that, at least not this version. Doesn't deal with that very well. Isaac? Okay. So I got decimal places. What if I want currency for the coupon totals? Click, click, right click, format, where we go? There it is. Number, and I want the currency symbol. But which one of these did it have before? My total pizzas could have commas, 2 decimal places, shouldn't be any negatives, but we'll take that. Notice as soon as I switched, Took my currency symbol away. Then I can customize and go in here. 2 decimal places looks good. Do you want a comma? Do you want leading zeros? There's my sample, looks good. So now my totals have dollar signs on them. What else? Changing the sort order. None of this is real complicated. That's kind of why I'm flying through it. But here's my month of April. What's with this? I told it how to group, and the groups are automatically sorted. Just like in SQL, right? Groups are automatically sorted, but the rest of this stuff isn't sorted very well. If you want to change the sort order of the detail records, this one's mind-boggling. If you want to change the sort order of the detail, if you want to change the sort order of a group, you change the group. I can go back into my group expert and tell it to sort the other direction. Most recent pizza orders are not first, they could be. See if I can make that happen. Right click the group, section expert. That one is ascending. Do I get an option to make it descending? There we go. Go. So I can do that. But if you want to sort the details, notice the D now on there. If you want to sort the details, you don't right click in here and go to the section expert. That doesn't work. You have to use this button, as far as I can tell, which is the record sort expert, and that doesn't even show up here. So that's a tricky one. Record sort expert. There's my group. Now what do you want to sort by? I could, again, bring in the date, right? Or I could say, let's keep all the bigs, the larges, and the mediums, and the personals and stuff together. Oops. Click. Let's bring it over there first. Size, send it over. How do you want it ascending, descending? We'll stick with that. And now within my month, they're sorted by size. How come the personals? Because no program is smart enough without you teaching it. No program is smart enough to know that a personal pizza is smaller than a small. They're just alphabetized. And now we've got the most recent ones at the top instead of down at the bottom. Crystal reports, if you change, this is one of the first things, I probably should push it up, but it's one of the first things you want to do. If you want to switch to landscape mode, do it early, because it'll readjust some of the fields and move them over and make, oh, now I got more room, stretch them out a little bit. Do this first, and then customize, and you'll be all right. But right now it's in portrait mode. Everything's looking pretty good. Let's add some graphics, and then we'll leave mailing labels for Tuesday. You can spruce these up. This is great for accountants and people who want to do payroll, but if you want to put your company logo on here or any of those kinds of things, then we got an issue. To add an image, you got to figure out where do you want to put it. Be very careful if you put images in the details, because for every record that shows up in the details, you get a copy of the image. If it's a little bullet check mark or something, that's not so bad. But I'm going to put a pizza guy in here, and if I put that on every record, it's going to take over my report. In my case, I want to put the pizza guy in the page footer, so what I'm going to do is make some room. You can resize any of these. If they're not big enough, I can resize them by touching the top. So now when I pull this down, my report header, that white space, doesn't collapse. When I run this now, there's going to be a big gap on the top of my report. Maybe. Yep, there it is. When I go to the next page, it's not there. So any white space you leave in Crystal Reports, remember that. This might be a good one since I don't have anything in there to suppress. Or I could put a title in here and say orders for whatever. How do I add stuff? I don't remember doing that in the other class. Where do I add things? So was it one of these guys here? Special fields. I want, no, those are special. I just want regular old fields. Formula fields, parameter group name, unbound fields. String. Unbound means it's not tied to database. Change the name to orders, I think. Nope, that's not the right one. Must not be, go away. Where's my labels? Not unbound. Database fields? No. Formula fields? Maybe. Parameter, group name, running, total, special fields? I don't think so. What am I forgetting? Oh, well, we didn't talk about it in the other one either, so I'll have to look it up. Pages, unbound fields makes more sense to me, but doesn't look like anything. Oh, I know what I can do. That's a label. Can I control drag it? Probably could if I weren't on a Mac. Copy it. Paste it. Change its text. Come on. Oh, that's not a text field. That's a special field. It's got the date in it. This is a text field. Not what I had in mind. Copy, paste, park it there. This is the orders report. Change font size. It's probably an easier way. We'll find it next time. I don't need all that space, so I'm going to park this up at the top. I want a little bit of white space below it. The point is the white space, whatever you leave, will take up room. If I do this, every row is going to be that high. If you pull it all the way up, you can do that. It won't let you make it smaller than possible, but if you pull it all the way up, it'll take all the white space out and smush them all together and make it real tight. I want a little bit of room. Here's where you size them. It's always either the top or the bottom. So I'm sorry, it's always the bottom. This is the bottom of the group section that I'm sizing. This is the bottom of the details. You can't adjust the size of the top. You can't make it taller up, but you can make it taller down. And then you can always move stuff around. So I'm going to make this taller to make some room for a picture. Let's take this stuff. I've selected them both and go arrow, arrow, arrow. Okay, made some room. Now I want to insert a picture. An awesome icon. It's this one right here that represents a picture. If I couldn't hover on it, I'd be in trouble. Click on it, find a picture. I just happened to download the pizza guy from my website, from OneDrive. There he is. Where do you want him? There. That's a little overpowering. Like any other good program, I can resize him. I think if you hold the shift key down, he stays square. No, he stays square automatically. Oh, liar. It's better. Now bring the bottom back up as far as it'll go. Now he's going to show up in the footer of every page. So whoever I hand this to gets to see my Pizza Shop Guy logo on every page. You can put them in the header, in the report header. You can put them on the page header if that's what you want. I just don't recommend putting them in here. You get a real mess. So, welcome to Crystal Reports. Again, the employers out there want you to have some experience with it, at least seen it, understand the concepts of the bands and the groups, keep things together, graphics. Somebody wants you to do Crystal Reports, they're going to give you the real program, and you're probably going to go, wow, this is different. But you'll have the concepts. When we come back next time, we'll do some mailing labels. Once we're done with the mailing labels, they don't take too long. Then we'll do a report with a chart, maybe a multi-column report. Then we're going to call it good. I'm not going to require you to create calculated fields. I'm going to make that extra credit on the assignment. I'm not going to require you to create report parameters. Make that extra credit on the assignment. But the rest of them are really very similar to what we've already done. Go through a wizard, say I want mailing labels. Go through a wizard, remember there was a place there where we could put in a chart. Still doing a standard report, but how do those charts behave? Depends on where you put them. So I'm going to show you those. I'm guessing a couple hours on Tuesday and we're going to be done with this. That'll still give you a little more than a week to do your assignments. I again encourage you to work together on your Crystal Reports assignment because it's very possible for one of you to go home, do the labels, the other one to come and the stuff that goes with it, the other one to do the charts. And then the fun part for you is how do you get them together? Add an existing item. Have two projects. I'm in here, it's Rachel's copy of it, go to Pam's copy, add an existing item, take the report, take the class, you're just about done. Can be done. Rest of the time today is lab. I will be here until 10 minutes to 7 when my brain's going to shut down automatically. I have it on a timer today. But I'll help you as much as I can. I have put a new version of, actually for you it's not so new, it's the same. Remember for a while there it was not displaying the first record? Kevin, I'll give him a shout out here. Kevin's solution to that was just to say at the end of form load, display the grid or display the details. And that works. I looked at last year's solution. The line that's causing the problem is the one that says set the current cell to the first displayed cell. If you take that out, it works. But it doesn't highlight the row. So I fought with it long enough. I used Kevin's solution, which is in form load, say field or panel fields dot visible equals true, and then the program goes merrily on its way. So now, and by the way, I can't show it to you here unless I change my startup form. But this version, the Crystal Reports version, should have that change in it. But if you're looking at the end of Unit 4, if you have an older one, you might want to go get the new one. Before I forget, let's put it in the recording just in case. Next Monday, no, not next Monday, the Monday after, the 11th, is that right? Yeah. Monday the 11th, my systems class is going to do a presentation of their project, just for you all, and anybody else in the building who wants to see it. They're going to do it Monday at 2 o'clock, and then again at 4 o'clock. For those of you who have conflicts with classes, hopefully you can catch one of those. If you can't, too bad. No extra credit, no nothing. It's just a nice chance for you to see the kinds of things you could be doing a year from now. It's honestly amazing what they've done. And yes, they're a good group, but there's nothing there that you can't do a year from now. They were sitting here last year, and now they're doing pretty good stuff. You'll see it. I hope you have a chance to come watch. We're going to do it now in a community engagement room so we can do it on 6 monitors and really impress you with it. Maybe we'll put some music behind it. No, I doubt it. Due date. All the due dates have been set. The due date for the Crystal Reports assignment is May 13th, midnight. You want a shot at an update? I think I talked about this last time, but again, good to get it in the recording. If you want a shot at an update, I got to have it Sunday and at a reasonable time on Sunday. That's Sunday the 10th. If you get me any assignment you get me before the 10th, I will grade it that weekend, and you'll have 3 days to do your update. Anything that comes after that Sunday, I can't guarantee anything. I'll try. But usually by the time Monday night's over and I go home at 8 o'clock, I don't feel like doing a whole lot of grading. Maybe if there's cake. So no promises after Sunday. I'll do what I can. But if you get it in at a reasonable time, let's say, I don't even want to say what time, but let's pretend 6 o'clock on Sunday. There's probably a chance I can grade it before I go watch a cartoon movie with my granddaughter or something. But I'll grade it, get it back to you.
Questions?
Which room